Alright, so what we've got here is a multi-step equation with variables on both sides. What I always like to do first is I like to draw a line straight down and through my equal sign just to kind of separate the two sides of the equation. It helps to keep me organized. Alright, the first thing we always have to look at is our distributive property. So at the beginning of the problem over here, you'll see that we have 14 minus, there's no function there yet. So I'm just going to simply bring that down. Now the next idea is to distribute. So I'm going to do negative 2 times 3p, which is negative 6p. And then I'm going to distribute my negative 2 over here to my positive 1. And negative times a positive is always going to be a negative, and 2 times 1 is 2. Alright, on the other side, we have another distributive situation. So we're going to do 6 times 4, which is 24. And I have 6 times p, which is positive 6p. Alright, so the next thought after distribution is always combining like terms. And you'll see that right here I have a 14 and I have a negative 2 right there. So we have to combine those, and 14 minus 2 is 12. And I have a negative 6p that needs to be brought down. On the other side, there is nothing to combine, so I'm just simply going to bring it down. Okay, now what we have here at this step is an equation with variables on both sides. So I always like to choose the smallest number because when you're doing the inverse operation, if you choose the smallest number, it's always going to keep your data positive, and keeping a positive number for me is just always easier to wrap my mind around. So what we're going to do first is we're going to add 6p to both sides. Got to do it to both sides so it keeps the equation balanced. On this side, negative 6p plus 6p is 0, so that gives us 0 and cancels out. On the other side, 6 plus 6 is 12. And I'm going to keep my 24 because we haven't done anything with that yet. And on the other side, 12. All right. Is there any way I can like scoot there? All right. Okay, so still continuing on here, we have to get rid of the 24 on the right-hand side. We just moved all the variables to the right-hand side, so the constants or the numbers that we don't have a variable with need to move to the opposite side. So we're going to get rid of 24 by doing the opposite. Since it's positive, we're going to subtract. And just like above, we get another 0 pair. That makes 0. But what I do on one side, once again, I have to do on the other. 12 minus 24 is going to be negative 12. And I still have my 12p that I'm going to just simply bring down and enter to the equation there. Now what you've got is a one-step equation, 12 times p on the right-hand side. In order to undo multiplication, we do division. And again, what I do on one side, I have to do on both sides. 12 divided by 12 is 1, or 1p, so I'm just going to keep that p. In fact, I'm just going to write it over here. And negative 12 divided by 12 is negative 1. And of course, you can always plug your answer back into the equation. So we know it's negative 1. We can plug that in for p. And if we've got the right answer, you should balance it out by having the same number on both sides.